It's match day at Pittodrie. Kick-off later this afternoon at 3 o'clock UK time as Aberdeen welcome Motherwell to Pittodrie in another huge game for the Dons. Here are today's fixtures. Hearts take on Dundee United, Livingston at home to Kilmarnock, Rangers play host to Ross County, and St Mirren are at home to Hibs. So today, depending on results, even though we continue to sit in the bottom six, we could go fifth today. So what we basically need is Hibs to lose at St Mirren, and if Livingston lose at home to Kilmarnock, but we do need to better their goal difference. So there is a huge incentive to do well today after Wednesday's defeat at home against St Mirren. Good morning. How are you doing this Saturday morning? I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for tuning in. So coming up on the show today, this is the preview show. If you're watching for the first time, you are more than welcome. Welcome along. So we'll be hearing from Barry Robson very soon, who talks about if this is a must-win game. And I thought what I would do is, because it's been such a crappy couple of weeks, I thought I'd lighten the mood a little bit and get former Don Robert Connor on to do his quick fire questions. And it was really good fun. Spoke to him late last night and we had a really good laugh. So that's coming up a little bit later. Right, just before we get into the crux of the show, just got a couple of things to do first. So first of all, I'd just like to give a big shout out to a gentleman called John Grant, who joined the ABTV membership scheme in the past couple of days. John, thank you so much. Your support is greatly appreciated, as is all of your support. Now, also, I received a message the other day from a young chap called Callum Benzis, who gave me very, very sad news about his father, who sadly passed away very suddenly after the St Mirren game on Wednesday night. And what makes it even more tragic was that he died on his 68th birthday. So Callum would today be very grateful if on the 68th minute there was an ovation to remember his dad's memory, who was a die-hard Aberdeen fan. So Callum, to you and your family, we do nothing but send our deepest condolences and our love to you and your family. Thanks, guys. Okay, so what I'd like to do is first and foremost, just let me get rid of a couple of pieces here just to free up some space, because I would like to have a guess of what I think the team will be today. So obviously we've been forced into changes thanks to the appeal that got upheld with Ross McCrory. So he misses today and he will miss next week as well. So to be honest with you, it didn't come as any surprise that the appeal was upheld. I said last week that I believed that there was no way they were going to overturn two appeals in the space of a week. I just couldn't see it happening. So let's have a look. Now, I've been a little bit controversial here. Come and have a look. Tell me what you think. So Jay Gorta, our new goalkeeper, is expected to start today. Now, even though I've got him down as number one, I've only been told in the past couple of minutes that his squad number is actually number 19. So Jay Gorta will wear the number 19 shirt. So I think today, now I know Liam Scales is available again, but I got a feeling he might play Jayden Richardson at right back today. If he doesn't, I'm wondering if one of our two new players will play at right back. And I think if you're gonna ask me, I think Angus MacDonald could possibly go to right back, put Liam in beside Matty Pollock. So that's potentially what I think might happen today. Let me know what you think. And then I think it's quite normal going forward. So Hilbert just sitting in front with Matty Kennedy, Graham Shinney and Leighton Clarkson in midfield, and Duke playing just behind Bojan Majowski. So that's what I think will be the team today. I could be completely wrong, and I probably am, but that's what I think. Now, also today, if you're heading to Pittodrie, you will notice that the boys are wearing a one-off kit to celebrate the annual club community day at Pittodrie. The shirt will be used to raise funds for partner charities to support their ongoing efforts to maximise the potential of our community in the North East. And I have to say, I think it's a rather nice shirt. So if you want to get in touch, it's the usual ways. Get in touch on YouTube. Please, as always, be respectful. If you can with your comments, try not to use bad language. I'd be very grateful for that. And also to help me with what is called the YouTube algorithm, which basically means if anybody sort of clicks on, you know how it works on Facebook? If someone puts something on Facebook and then it automatically goes to the top of the timeline. So with the YouTube algorithm, what happens is, and I've only just been told this recently, is that the more likes I get, the further up sort of the chain the shows go. So the shows become sort of more public, and the visibility is better. So if you don't mind, if you're enjoying today's show, it'd be great if you could press the little like button for me. Right, let's hear from Barry Robson. So Barry spoke to the press yesterday, spoke about a number of different things about the new players, getting to know the new players, how important it was that he needs to get to know the new players again. But something that I thought was quite interesting, one of the journalists asked him about today being a must-win game. And this is how he answered the question.
One thing I've learned in football, everything's a must-win game. Played it a long time, everything's a must-win game. So, listen, if you've lost a few games or if you won a few games, you've got to be thinking you need to go out and win the game. That's where we're at, and that's where you always are. When I was a player, that's all I thought about. Just go and win games of football. Now, that's the sort of thing you at Aberdeen. And for me, when I was a player, I wasn't bothered about my own performance. The most important part was winning. And I think that's the what we want to breathe into the players here, because the expectation you get at Aberdeen Football Club. So you've got to win. And that's the message that we get across to the players.
Interesting thoughts as always from Barry. Right, here's your match stats. So Motherwell have won 4 of their last 5 league visits to Aberdeen, including both of their last 2. Since the Premiership resumed after the World Cup break, Aberdeen have lost more games and conceded more goals than any other side in the division. That needs to be addressed quickly. And Motherwell are winless in 10 league matches, the longest run without a win any side has endured this season. The man in the middle is Kevin Clancy, and the man on VAR is Graham Granger. Let's get to your comments. Let's see how you're all doing this morning. I think it's important that I do think today is I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a must-win game, but I certainly think we have to get back to winning ways. On paper, it's not a must-win, but what I'm worried about is that we're going to get dragged in. And if we get dragged in, I'm just a little bit concerned about the mentality going forward. Right, so Barry McNeil, I said, it is a must-win game today. Need to cut out errors at the back. New backline with new keeper will be interesting. Heed first. Laurel 101. Will be interesting to see what our lineup is in defence today, hoping the new keeper starts. Yeah, I agree with that. Paul C. Riki, typical Saturday, full of hope until the final whistle. Let's hope we're not disappointed by 4:45. Big question is Ali wearing the big coat again today? I am. Ewan Grant, hi Ewan. Sadly, this has become a must-win game. Our post-World Cup form is so poor that its continuation would leave us on 36 points at the end. It must improve. I completely agree. Ewan Grant goes on to say, after crunching some numbers, the average for 11th is 35.7 points. A continuation of the post-World Cup form leaves us with a nasty chance of 11th or, God forbid, 12th. Time for some points, Mr. Robson and lads. Good point, mate. Very good point. Nathan Mitchell has said good morning to everybody. Hi, Nathan. How are you? Paul Donaldson is on. Good morning, Paul. Hope the day is the day we finally turn the corner. Barry Watson, good morning, Red Army. Today is a massive game for us. It really is a must-win. Malcolm Park, hi Mal. 3-1 Dons, got good feeling today. Come on, you Reds. Eclectic Soup has said must-win today or it's squeaky bum time. Scottish Wildman, I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Doug Smart has said good morning. The Mad Ferret, we go again. Come on, you Reds. Fraser Gunn has said good morning to everybody. Rich Stephen has said fit like for Perth in Australia. A very good afternoon stroke evening to you, Rich. Scotty lad, morning all. Massively important that we end our bad run today and get our season back on track. Kaiser, all the very best to Callum Benzie and his family. Stand free. I fully concur, Kaiser. Thank you for that. Gregor Stevens, come on you Reds. Derek Griffiths has said good morning. Will be good to see how the new keeper does today. We all knew the red card wouldn't be overturned, so 3 points is a must today. Do you know what? I'm at the stage now where I just can't get angry or frustrated about it anymore. It is what it is. They've dealt with it. We now have to deal with it. Let's just move on and crack on. Grant Stewart, good morning, Grant. Robbo interview on Red TV are brilliant. Different class to Jim. Not sure if he is ready to permanently manage us just yet, but in with a shout and doing a great job. Stand free, head first. Doug Smart has said, I'm hoping for Scales left back, Richardson right back. Would like to see Duncan start instead of Kennedy. Erica Mitchell has said, good morning to everybody. Bring on today's game with a win, hopefully. Stand free. Scotty Lad has said, can't get my head around letting Vinny Besserwin go. He would get in that team ahead, for me, ahead of Clarkson. Colin Stewart, thank you, mate. I will. Scottish Wildman in response to Callum Benzie's late father, stand free and rest in peace. Ian Andrews has said, I think Scales will be played left back, which is his preferred position. Yeah, he absolutely might today. Colin Stewart has said, it absolutely is a must-win, as with the rest of them from now on. Kaiser has said, Scales to left-back, Richards to right-back, and the two new centre-halves, and keep that as the back four to the end of the season. Far too much chopping and changing. Yeah, Kaiser, I agree with that. I think, the lads, they need to get to know each other. And I'm also not a big fan of chopping and changing all the time. Go back to years and years ago, and I'm not comparing the players, obviously I'm not, but we always had the same back four for so many games in a row, and I just think that is the way forward. Rob Clark has said, good morning, interesting team, Ali. Personally, I would drop Clarkson. It's time for fighters and rolling your sleeves up. Only then can he do all his skills. Yeah, not going to disagree. Paul Donaldson has said, today's shirt looks good. Shame it's only going to be a one-off. Would be good for next season. Alan McDonald has said, Granger. The Ranger. The VAR official. James E. Thompson has said, it might be a blessing that McCrory is out. He hasn't been that great of late. It might be the kick up the bottom he needs. I wouldn't have Kennedy in the side either. Dougie0212 has said, I'm quite confident about today, but Van Veen always seems to score against us, so hopefully the new defence can deal with him. Yeah, he does always score against us. He's the one player we really have to keep an eye on today. And this is what I suggest, chaps. Smash him, legally, early doors. First tackle, let him know he is in a game. Right, I will get to more of your comments shortly, but first, let's have a bit of a laugh. So I decided to get Robert Connor on last night to do what is a quick-fire question and answer session. So here he is, Robert Connor. Enjoy. Mr. Connor, lovely to see you as always. These are your quick-fire questions, so you can answer them as you see fit. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Right. What position did you prefer? Left midfield or left back?
Left midfield, preferred playing there because you're more involved in the game, but it was much harder than left back. Left back was a fairly easy position to play, but left midfield, more involved in the game.
Who did you get the wrath more from? Willie Miller or Alex McLeish?
Both, but in different ways. Willie, it was just a look, and Big Alec, you get verbals for Big Alec. So both equal measures, but in different ways.
The JVC strip or any other strip that you wore?
Um, I, personally, I quite liked the Adidas strip when I first went there in '86. I forget when I was 86, yeah. And I quite liked that Adidas strip, but I know that the JVC strip is very well liked by Aberdeen supporters, and I can see why. It was a nice strip, and probably, well, when I was there, it was the strip that I had most success in. So I would say Adidas with the head, JVC with the heart.
Okay. Who was better in small-sided games? Drew Jarvie or Jockey Scott?
Again, they were both effective in different ways. Drew, as you can imagine, was kind of all action, passion, and heart. Jockey was more of a thinker and had a great appreciation of space and that type of thing. Whereas Drew Jarvie would just cover all the space in his own effective way. Jockey would use the space in a minimal way, but equally as effective.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I saw it.
Where did you prefer to train? The beach, the barracks, or Seaton Park?
Definitely not the beach. The first time I was in Aberdeen Beach ever was when I signed for Aberdeen, and the day after I signed, I was taken down the beach by, not the day after, but the week after, I was taken down the beach with Neil Simpson, who was injured at the time. And instead of I quickly learned, the physios, instead of icing the injury, they just kicked you out the door and you had to go and paddle in the North Sea. So definitely know that. I can remember things coming up into my stomach when I first walked in there. So there's no way. I just get not fond memories of Aberdeen Beach at all. But Seaton Park's where we trained the most. And although it was, the mobile goals and that type, portable goals, that type of thing, I think I preferred Seaton Park. The barracks tended to be a bit windy. So Seaton Park was where we did most of the training, probably enjoyed that most, yeah.
Apart from your good self, who was the funniest bloke in the dressing room?
I was a couple of guys that like to get involved in the banter, again, different ways. Big Alec was involved in a lot of the banter. Jim Bett, who was quiet, Bill and myself, quiet outside the club, but really involved in most of the banter. But maybe a strange one, the guy that I found very, very funny was Davy Robertson, although he hardly said anything. But he was on the peg next to me at in the dressing room for training, and I could hear what he did say under his breath that most people didn't hear, and it was really, really funny. And I think that that was backed up on that. What do you call that program he was on when he was the manager over?
The program from India, yeah, Kashmir.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I just thought that was the funniest thing. Maybe it's just I just think Davy Robertson was funny, just the way his character, But I think overall, probably Jazza, probably Jim Bett. He was always up to no good.
Okay. What was your favourite pre-match meal?
Well, my favourite pre-match meal had changed through the years. When I first started playing football, it was just what we got, which was in the olden days before they knew about food and nutrition, and we had steak and chips before the game. And I always remember I was Ayr United, and there was one of the players, Ian McAllister, was a real stalwart for Ayr United, same age as me, and played for all his career. He was a great player. And there would be four of us that we used to go to the Skin Flats for the away games, which is in Grangemouth. And they served up great big sirloin steaks with big fat rind round the edge of them. And we would sit four at a table. So if Ian was sitting at our table, everybody else would cut the fat off and leave it. He used to pick it off of everybody else's plate and eat it, and the juice squirting out and all that kind of thing. So the steak itself was bad enough for you before a game. I don't know what the fat would do to you, but latterly I was more in tune with the diet and nutrition stuff, and a small bit of chicken would be what I would prefer then.
Okay. What did you prefer, winning the Skull Cup or winning the Scottish Cup?
Well, that's a hard one because the Skull Cup was my first major uh, trophy of my career, and that was very special. Also, because it was the third game in the trilogy with Rangers, and it really kind of meant so much to all the players after losing the previous two games. It was really one of these things that you've just got to win that game, and we did. So, for that point of view, that was amazing. But the Scottish Cup has always been the kind of like the FA Cup in England before all the money came into England with Sky and that type of thing. But the Scottish Cup, obviously, a kind of more prestigious trophy. So I don't know. I think again, winning the Skull Cup was great for a reason. If I had to pick the two, I would say Scottish Cup because it's the bigger trophy.
Okay.
I think we're the last team to win it for last Aberdeen to win that. Was still,
I know, it's
which is sad, but it's so long ago.
I know. Who is better looking, Scott Booth or Ian Jess?
Now, or now, or when they were players.
When they were players.
Were players. Well, I don't know. I think both were young, boyish looks. I think Scott Booth was more manufactured, I would say. With I think he preened himself a bit more than Ian did. So Ian was maybe more naturally good looking than Scott, but Scott worked hard at it. Let's put it that way.
He had to. Okay, final question, and please choose your next words very carefully. Bad Boys Inc. or East 17?
Oh, there's only one winner there, isn't there? It's got to be Bad Boys Inc. only because when I was doing an earlier video with yourself, I looked up Bad Boys Inc., as you know, just
Oh, don't pretend you didn't know us.
I did. So East 17 were, I've never seen any videos of them apart from it now and again on the telly. So, but I've watched more videos of Bad Boys Inc. I have to say, top class band.
Yeah, you'll do for me, Tiger. And on that note, enjoy your weekend.
Good stuff. Thanks, Ali.
See you,
enjoy
fella.
your weekend too. Cheers, buddy.
Oh, don't you just love that man more and more? Robert Connor, what a player he was. So underrated as well. Let me get back to your comments. Thank you for watching today. A couple of you have asked about at the beginning of the interviews, you see all the logos going through. So basically, those are the guys who support me here on Ali Beg AB TV, the guys that sponsor me. So Mike Logie and Craig Cameron at Saltire Energy, Alan Finlay at Lux Scott, Phil McKenzie at Fowler McKenzie, and Mark Anderson at HCS. And their support, as much as yours, is just absolutely brilliant for me. So that's what that is all about, guys. Right, let's get back to your comments. So Graham Fade has said, looking forward to seeing how the new keeper gets on. And he's a bit worried that Joe is now past it. David Gold has said, absolutely is a must-win game. We go 12 points clear of the bottom. Defeat today puts us 6 ahead of the bottom. 2 losses will see us potentially right down there if others win. Do you know, I've got to be honest. I am now going to say today is a must-win game because we have a big break next because it's the Scottish Cup, and then we have to go to Parkhead. And I have the fear about games like that. So, yeah, we certainly do not want to lose the next 2. So today is 100% a must-win game because what it also does, it just gives us that belief going into the break where Barry can just work on other things with the players, and it just lifts them. It's all it. So yeah, I'm with you guys. Today is a must-win game. Richard McKenzie said a clean sheet and a couple of goals to boost the team. George Barber has come on and said, I don't think we are that far off being a good side, but we really need the confidence boost 3 points would bring. Charlie Howie, I think we need to concentrate on staying up this season and not Europe, and start with a fresh and new manager next season. Paul Mills has said, if McDonald is a talker, get Richardson in beside him. Scales to left back, Clarkson due a rest, score first, we'll see a different team. I like this from David Gold. Robson needs to be in Ramadani's ear. Your job is Van Veen. Neil Cooper style. Remember? Charlie Nicholas. Bang. So many of you commented about Bobby Connor. What a player he was for us, says Scott W. Kaiser has said, Bobby Connor, those were the days. Colin Stewart, think our new centre-backs will handle Van Veen? As you say, legally clatter him, let him know we are there. Kaiser's gone on to say, of all the players in that team that Bobby played with, Jim Bett was my idol. Absolutely tremendous. James McCaskill has gone, hi James, how you doing? Good morning to fellow dandies. Van Veen is a thorn in our side. Would like to see Pollock marking him and Ramadani stopping the ball, getting to him. Ramadani needs a big game today. Surely we're due a break. Yeah, absolutely. Scott W. has said, those 3 Skull Cup finals are 3 of the best finals I think I've ever seen. 3 absolute classics. They were classic games. The first 2 were obviously absolutely heartbreaking, but the third, oh, what a day out that was. Went down on a minibus with my pals from Newborough, the guys who are sort of 3 or 4 years older than me. And it was the first time my parents let me go to a cup final on my own down to Glasgow. Oh, it's a day I will never forget. Paul Donaldson said, what an amazing season that was, 89-90. Kaiser says, I can remember a cup tie against Dundee United in 88, I think when Bobby scored in a 1-1 draw. Dundee United eventually won the second replay. Sean Blues has predicted a 2-0 win for the Dons today. The Scottish Wildman, 134 watching, 44 likes. Yeah, come on guys, press the old like button for me. Do us a big favour. And Dougie Smart said, Livy at home after Celtic will be another hard game, so desperately need 3 points today. Yeah, we certainly do. Thank you for all your comments. Okay, just a little thing for you. So if you are not going to the game today, but you are out and about, I'll be on the big Saturday football show between 2 and 6 on North Sound 1, where I will be basically reporting live from my studio here in Germany, Austrian border. And so I'll be able to bring you guys right up to date with everything that is going on at Pittodrie as it happens. If you don't know anything about the show, it's presented by Stephen Mill with Ewan Cameron, myself and Stevie Cowan. And for me, I know I'm totally biased with this, but it is the perfect mixture of just having a really good laugh, really good music, depending on taste of music, of course, and football. So, and what I also like is that we don't really do anything about Celtic and Rangers. Nothing. We concentrate on everybody else, which I also love about the show. So if you're at a loose end, come and join us. We're on air from 2 o'clock. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. I will be back tomorrow with the review show at 7 o'clock. So all that's left to say is have a safe journey if you're heading to Pittodrie today. The very best of luck to the lads today. A must win. We saw more fight on Wednesday. We saw more commitment. We saw a better attitude. Let's hope we can keep 11 men on the pitch today if the officials behave themselves and we do get a much needed win and hope results go for us today. And you never know, we might find ourselves in the top half of the table. Enjoy your Saturday and I'll see you again tomorrow night. Stand free. All the best.